What's going on, guys? It's Joe at FIFA. Today I have a squad builder for you, so kind of just what I am running currently for kind of pre-team of the season. Obviously it is now April, so it's just a couple of weeks away. As you saw, I'm sitting on like 5 million coins, so I might try and invest that sum, but otherwise just going to be kind of holding on to that. I think as we approach that, player prices might start to drop. So without further ado, let's kind of get into this squad and I'll kind of talk you through it. So in goal, right now, using Lafont. He's got some interesting animations, but I think he's good so far. Mostly just for the chem. French obviously helps, and he's got good stats, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. I think he's fine. So moving into the defense, we do have Rafael Marquez. The fantasy foot hero is upgraded to a 91 now, and he's always kind of had that dog, and even his cards that weren't that fast were just really good. And I think this one's kind of another one of that. So I paid a lot, 685, but I mean, if you're paying 700k for an MLS center back, he's going to be good. And yeah, he is solid even with the height, and he's a tank, doesn't really let anyone buy him. So solid card there. And as you can see by the cards around him, next up, we are going to have the flashback to Sergio Ramos. Not much to say. I've played 460 games with him, and he is very, very, very good. So if you played against him, you know how good he is. So really, there's not a whole lot to say besides that. But completing the defense is actually going to be a new card, so I can give you my opinion on him after the weekend league, and it is the Fut Birthday Hummels, and he is really solid. I mean, as you can tell by the stats, he does have a good pace split, high strength, high defensive awareness. I paid 105. He's probably cheaper than that net. Yeah, he's like 75k. So at that price point, I really don't think there's going to be much better. You could even pair him with like Schlotterbeck, who's got pretty crazy stats for an 86 if you want like a super cheap defense. But overall, really strong back line, obviously high rated, high defense on all of them. So moving into the midfield, we do have Alphonso Davies, who is going to be playing the left mid, and in the 3-4-2-1. It's obviously the same as this, just I have this to fit the outside mids, but they become center forwards in game. But Alphonso Davies is going to play that left mid, and you just want someone who can go up and down the field, and he obviously will excel at that with his 97 pace. So I did enjoy using him. He got 12 assists, which was maybe a little surprising because he wasn't in a super offensive position, but he does have decent passing. So, and he can cross too. Also, one of the things that I think the 3-4-2-1 kind of excels at is if you can cross from, like, say, Davies to Bale when the center backs are tracking the inside players, so the wingers are the center forwards in the formation. If you can play a ball from, well, and I gave it away, but the right mid in this team is going to be the Gareth Bale card, and obviously he has crazy stats and can go box to box, but he does have that 99 jumping, 99 heading accuracy, so he can, give you a knockdown to one of the offensive players. But obviously the crossing, Davies has 90, Gareth Bale I'm sure has very high crossing, 97. So you can do that. I have one weekend league game where I scored like 3 crosses or something, and I wasn't even, trying. It's just when you overload the offense, the center backs have to pick up one of the 3 players there, so you leave some players open. But moving on into the midfield, and on the left, we are going to have road to the final Goretzka. Obviously crazy stats, his lowest face stat being 85 pace. I paid 1.4 for him. He might be up a little bit just because of yeah, he is up quite a bit, and I think that's probably due to the Bayern game against Dortmund. Thomas Tuchel's first in charge, they looked really good in, so people I'm sure are nervous. I think the City game is on the 11th. Obviously it's going to be a tough time. I could lose a lot of money. I mean, probably not a ton, just considering the card's really good, but obviously if this card goes to a 93, it is going to be very strong. So kind of risky, but I mean, I enjoy this card. So, and completing the midfield next to him is Emre Can, who has pretty similar stats to Goretzka. Obviously it's just that pace, pass, dribble, but for an 87, really good value. I think at 315, he did score the pen against Bayern. So if he does take pens, I think he needs one more to go to an 88, and he should get the appearances. So potentially an 89 rated card on Emre Can, which, adds to all those stats. And he looks a lot more like Goretzka that I paid 1.4. So I think still a decent value at this price. And obviously a tank. He doesn't have the greatest pace split, but he is really rapid in game once you get going, and he's not going to let much by him. So moving into the front three, it is going to be a front three I think you've kind of seen from me already before, but starting on the right wing, we do have Jairzinho, and 661 games, doesn't have the craziest goals or assists, but he's always there, always doing something, and you know, he's going to be in my team pretty much up until team of the season. So, you know, such a good card, can't really complain about anything he does. But on the left, we are going to have the player of the month, Mbappe. Obviously, the 93 is out now, but crazy expensive. So this card was out during team of the season, and in 400 games, I have, you know, 400 goal contributions. It's Mbappe. Not too much to say. You know how good he is. And if you don't, then I don't know where you've been, but completing this team, again, another face that has been running things for a little bit in my team is Pele. I paid 3.3 for him. He went up to 4 when everything rose, and I think he's, yeah, back down to sub 3.2. So I am going to lose like some money on him, but I think scoring 300 goals and providing 200 assists in 350 games is getting your money's worth. So really, really solid there. And here is how the team looks in game. So obviously the back three, Goretzka and Can at the center, Alphonso, Davies, and Bale on the sides, Jairzinho and Mbappe supporting Pele in the middle. I tried Mbappe in the middle originally and Pele on the right, but I think Mbappe just has the best speed, especially on like the left side, because obviously Pele and Mbappe are both left-footed, but I think Mbappe is just a better dribbler. Like Pele kind of felt like, I didn't like how he was starting his dribble on the left. I think it made more sense in the center. And also if you play like the RBAs into the striker from Can and Goretzka, he can provide those layoff passes better. Obviously Pele has very high passing. So getting into the instructions that I ran this weekend that I hit rank 1 with, I did the stay central, stay forward, stay behind on Pele, get in behind, stay forward on Jairzinho. Jairzinho actually did stay central, so that was a difference. I actually didn't even know I did that, but Mbappe, I think you can give him a little bit more freedom. Jairzinho, I kind of liked in the system, and I did like how I was able to play that extra ball. So I might actually switch to stay central on Mbappe, but it worked out. I did like this formation, so you know. But what I was going back to, playing that extra pass when you play Mbappe to Pele, Jairzinho sometimes makes that run in the center and is able to get kind of the free shot on goal. So moving into the left mid and right mid, come back on defense, stay wide, getting behind, stay on the edge of box for cross. So kind of 4 things going on there. So come back on defense. Obviously, you want a strong defensive shape. You need them to come back. You want high stamina players who are fast. Obviously, that's Davies and Bale. Check that box. Stay wide. Obviously, you have the center forwards. You need to provide the full width of the pitch with these players if you want kind of the team shape to work. To get in behind is, you know, you need these people to be drawing the backs to force kind of open up space in other spots. So, you know, I think I had them just on balance. Yeah. And like they would happen to just stand there a lot. Like they didn't even attack on balance as much as I thought. So you do need to get in behind, and then to stay on the edge of the box for cross. It's just they don't go too far in. You know, these players can still score a couple goals, but if they go too far in, then they're not going to be able to defend as, you know, successfully as you need them to. So that's kind of the process for that. And then both of my center mids, they're not DMs, I did stay back while attacking, stay on edge of box, and cover center. So I think this really depends on the work rates. Like Emre Can, and I think it works out because Emre Can has medium high, Goretzka has high medium. Goretzka gets in the box sometimes in positions I don't know, but then also sometimes he's that extra pass where you're like, thank you for being there. So Emre Can, I think you do need one person who at least has the high defensive work rates, who's always holding it down. Goretzka, I think, sneaks in a little bit, but it has been working out so far. And then going into the center backs, nothing. And then I do comes across as a sweeper keeper. Some people run it, some people don't, but I think it kind of works out either way. So there are the instructions. Here are the tactics balance. I just did 3458. You kind of want low width, high depth. These are kind of arbitrary numbers. You could do whatever you want. You could do 30, 55. I just, you know, picked numbers. So direct passing is the best, if you didn't know. Very, very strong. With 50 players in box, I do 7. I think it's the best. Goretzka, sometimes I think that might be why he gets in the box a little bit, but it does provide a lot of options, and I haven't been caught out on defense too much. So corners 3, free kicks 2. I think I might change corners to 2. I'm not sure. I may have to test around with that, but I did run corners 3 this weekend and it worked out pretty well, but I wasn't scoring, I think, maybe as many corners as I was. So there are the tactics, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep running this formation for a little bit. I think it offers a little bit more free flowing than the 4-3-2-1. You know, a little, you know, you have options passing forward where maybe the 4-3-2-1 is kind of rigid. You kind of have to follow the same format. So I did enjoy playing it, which I think, especially as we get into kind of the latter half of FIFA, that's one of the important things. So hopefully gonna keep up with this and then, you know, keep earning those coins and be able to build a really nice squad for team of the season. But that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching this one until the end, and if you enjoyed, you know, leave a like, subscribe to be one of Joe's bros, and yeah, thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.